And we're live. Hi, everybody. Susan Batchelder here. And today I have the honor of hanging out with my good friend, Paul Barlow. Hey, Paul. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Really good. Really good. Thank you again for doing this with me.
Anytime. Love doing it.
Awesome. So just so that you know, Paul and I often have conversations like this, and we've recorded in the past. There's actually one that the last time we recorded, it's on the topic called Disrupt. And you should go check it out. And if you want the link to the video, just give me a shout, because we're talking about impacting and disrupting online, offline, all that kind of stuff. So it was a cool conversation. Thanks again for that too, Paul.
Oh, I love that. That was fun.
Yeah. So today we are talking about mastering the art of the invite. And I knew for sure that Paul would have some great value to offer you. So that's why I invited him. And he just told me something that he's been speaking to people more about regarding the invite. Would you like to start with that point, Paul, and explain that to them?
Well, and I'll add the little story and that goes along with it. So I had a friend tell me one time in this industry, he's been owner of companies and different things. And he said, Paul, you know how we talk to people about, in networking and these types of things that, it's just like going to a good movie or going to a good restaurant and you just tell someone about it, right? Says, well, when you go to a movie that you like and you're walking out the back door, do you ever have somebody standing there handing you out a pamphlet to teach you how to go tell someone about it, or trying to set up a training to try to train you on how to do that? No, of course not, right? Because it's normal and natural for you to go say, oh, I was excited about this thing. You should go check it out too. And that's the way. So we need to get more natural and more genuine with our invites to check out our opportunities, because that's it. If I have to train you, at least, there's of course training on how to interact with people. We're going to talk some about some of that here, but it starts with just be natural, just be yourself, and it'll get you a lot farther than you probably think it will.
And exactly. And thank you for that, because within all of this training on this platform, that's the point that we keep on coming back to, making sure to humanize our marketing. So even if we're doing marketing online using digital assets, we need to make sure to be authentic and be real. Just be human. That's what people want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it absolutely fits. So that being said, we're being natural, we're being human. On this topic of mastering the art of the invite, it's not just a one thing, like not just one sentence. It needs to be deeper than that. And so what would be your advice to people on building it out and aiming for that second handshake, aiming for building rapport?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts on this, because early on in my career, and I'm sure a lot of other people have had this, you get taught the what I call the drive-by invite, where they say, okay, get on the phone, be as quick as you can, be in a hurry, and just say, hey, I need you to do XYZ thing for me or whatever, and get off the phone as soon as you can. Don't give them a chance to give objections or whatever. And it's not wrong per se. Can it work? It can, but it's not real human. Like you said, it's not very, very, you're not really connecting with a person. So I prefer an invite approach to where really what you're doing is really trying to find out where a person is. And so when I call someone to invite them, I'm not going to invite them until we've had a conversation a little bit, till we found out where we are. This doesn't have to be 2 or 3 hours. It can be 2 or 3 minutes sometimes, but I'm mostly calling to ask some questions before I invite someone. I guess that's really what it comes down to. And so instead of calling someone to tell them something, I'm calling them to ask and find out where they're at, I guess, is where we start.
And thereby, you have some specific questions that fit with your personality and who you are, that also you will give you that information about the person that you're looking for to know if it's a good fit, right? But where I'm going with this is, so it's not always only about what you say, but it's how you listen when you've asked those questions. So listening is just as important in this process as what you're saying, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like when you go in with a question mentality, that means you have to be willing to also just walk away and say, hey, no, that's great, you were doing fine, and not, it's not like, okay, I'm trying to get this formality out of the way to get to this invite that I need to make to this person. It's really listening, say, okay, is this person in a position or where they might be to listen to my opportunity, because usually when people are teaching this invite process, they get to, okay, you're going to give them an invite and then they're going to have objections and you're going to talk about all these objections. It's like, well, if you ask the right questions initially, a lot of times the invite itself is going to be a lot more natural. There's not going to be any objections because you got there the right way by approaching it effectively. And that's where I prefer that much more. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll still have people that object and have different things and all that, but by and large, if you frame the entire conversation appropriately from the first moment you start opening your mouth, you're going to avoid a lot of the problems that people teach and train about, I guess is what it comes down to.
Right. And if you've approached it properly so that you haven't offended them, even if they say no right now, they might even, it might even mingle around in their thoughts after the fact, and they might end up calling you back if you've developed that rapport during that conversation, right?
Yeah, because it's the natural human reaction. I always say this. So people want to do things. We're social creatures. We want to be invited to things. We want to check things out. But most of us, especially adults, have been burned so often or been tricked or whatever. So we get the immediate defense wall that comes up when someone invites us to something, right? Let's say you walk into a store, you need help. One of the ladies comes up to you and say, "Can I help you?" "No, I'm okay." Right? Well, you do, yeah. Right? It's just a natural thing we do. So you've got to break through that, and by just being natural and you say being concerned about their well-being and finding out where they're at. You avoid a lot of the big. You either, if the wall went up, you get it down pretty quick, because a lot of times, especially if you're in marketing and things like some of us are, a lot of us are, right? Mm-hmm. They know who you are when you're calling. So if you call and you're just more normal, they all of a sudden that initial, oh, hey, here they go, what's going to go on here? But you spend some time on them, the defense is going to come down. And then this isn't about manipulating or anything. It's about getting to a real connection with the person. So then you can say, hey, look, I really think there's something here that could be of value to you to check out. And now that you've told me X, Y, and Z, I really think it could. So I guess I'll put this, the only magical piece of the process from a language standpoint is the if would type of invite. I always couch all of my invites in the if would, because it does seem to make a lot of sense and it works. So I'd say, well, yeah, so if I were to, put this in front of you, would you check it out for me? And 90% of the time, if you approach that first part of the conversation correctly, you say, yeah, sure, I'd love to check it out for you. It's pretty simple.
I like that. So the if would, very cool.
Yeah, only little magical piece of an invite, I suppose, is that the if would. Everything else is just caring about the person and being focused on their well-being.
That's awesome. I think I'm all out of questions there. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add to kind of summarize it or wrap it up?
Yeah, I'd say once again, it's not a set. Everybody wants a set formula. And there is no set formula to connecting with another human being besides just be genuine, be yourself, and care about them, right? And so I think that's the problem. The problem is if we do try to put this into some box and say, okay, it's A, B, C, and D. Now, there are pieces and there's general areas, you want to talk to them first, you want to ask some questions and qualify, then have an invite, and then make sure you set an appointment. Yeah, you want to do those things, but it's not how and when, and everything can be very fluid and very different for the person, and you just have to do it enough to get good at it and to feel comfortable with it.
That's awesome. And I forgot to tell you, just so that you know where people are at when they're going to be watching this piece, but they've already gone through an entire section of ideas of how to build rapport, and there's sample questions and what kind of information they're going to get from this kind of question and this kind of questions, and samples of scripts and all of that. So they've gone through all of that content, which is why I kind of wanted this part to be just some wisdom from people like yourself with many years of experience in this, so that just to reassure them that just use this content, be yourself, and have conversations with people.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
And that's awesome. So would you mind telling them, just so that they know a bit about you and how many years you've been in this industry, just build that trust factor for them. Who is Paul Barlow?
Sorry, yeah, we probably should have done that at the beginning.
I should have started at the beginning, but
totally fine.
I always do things backwards, so it's all good.
No, we're great. So I've been involved in the network marketing industry for 17 plus years now. I've also dabbled in internet marketing during that whole time, direct marketing. I'm more of a fan of the direct marketing, internet marketing type things, and but I would consider myself a professional network marketer, and love doing it. Love doing it correctly. I love helping correct some of the misconceptions and things that are out there, because it is scary for a lot of people to do what we do, because you do really have to get vulnerable and really open up to people. And it's not easy for me. I promise it's still not easy for me, even 17 years later. But when you do, and you can really create trust and relationships with people, you can create some really amazing things that just wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I love this industry. Love connecting with wonderful people like you. And this is always fun.
Thank you. I remember one of our conversations that we were having, and this is relative too, about how is offline network marketing different. And I remember you telling me some stories about some of the people that you're working with. You'll be driving to a meeting together in a car, and that length of time, the conversations that you have, you really get to know people. You're driving to a meeting, but you're just having everyday conversations, and you create a bond that will sometimes last forever, whether you stay in that same specific opportunity together or not. But that's how you build relationships, is by face-to-face interactive conversations during those times. And that's really cool. That's one of the missing pieces with network marketing online, is you don't have that kind of opportunity unless we do things like this, right? On video.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I would tell all the online marketers. Online's great, and I'm a huge proponent of using online to scale the invite process, to go out and reach a much wider audience. Those are things you can't do offline. You don't have the same power to do that. But I would highly encourage everyone here, all the internet marketers watching this, pick specific people. That's the beauty. Now you can pick. You don't have to have them foisted upon you. You can go ahead and pick, but go find 3, 5, 6 people that you've gotten through the lead process or whatever else, all the other online, and go reach out to them and go talk to them. Get on these conversations. If you're traveling to their city, go out to coffee with them. If you happen to live close, make the effort, and I promise it'll make a massive difference, not only in your business, but just in your life and quality of life in general.
That's awesome. Thanks again, Paul. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.